Cheers to the mod squad for getting rid of that bot in Discord. If any of you, ever have that happen, do like what Capo Drazi did, and make sure that you let us know here in the mod squad, so that we don't have scammers, hacked accounts, and all this other stuff. So thanks to Raven for taking care of that. Now, for this next character, we're gonna use the formula that I had been using in the workshop, and maybe mine doesn't stand up anymore. Maybe the last this method here. Maybe this method here is actually. This is the way forward, and I'm the defunct grandpa. I'm not hip. I'm not with it. I'm literally the worst thing for the hobby ever, because I want, because I like the roleplay prompts that the 14 book has. But let's see. We don't know until we go. One cannot find out until they fun around. So let's fun around, and we shall find out. Now, this, of course, is based on this, of course, is going to be based on the old-fashioned manual of player character golems that I've developed since year one of this channel. That I hope puts the personality and the who of the characters first before we worry about the bells and the whistles. The bells and the whistles will be there, I promise. They're waiting for you. Let's find out who's wielding those bells and whistles. You all could tell me, oh, I have an elven sorcerer. That actually says nothing about your character. So do 500,000 other people have elven sorcerers. That tells me zero about your character. I want to learn about your character's character. Who are you playing? What are, how do they make decisions? How does he or she operate? Have some sort of moral compass? Is there a flaw to your character at all in some way? Language like that was removed from the 2024 book. So we will examine it. And hey, maybe there's one of you out there who only just started playing and your very first book was 2024, and you have no idea that backgrounds were a lot more robust than what you see in the 2024 book. Let me show them to you. So we're going to follow this. We're going to follow this methodology here. It's pretty much the same. It's the same going down. See, that says more about your character than just saying I have an elven sorcerer after Fav. Or whatever, a dwarven cleric or something. And what we're going to do is, when we get to backgrounds, we're going to interpret the 2024 to what the 2014 has that's closest in equivalency. The changes, like how Wayfarer is worded, it's the urchin. But urchin probably didn't pass sensitivity readers or whatever they have filtering through committees. So it's been changed to Wayfarer. You're not an outlander in 2024, you are a guide. So in reading through, I went with the closest equivalent in concept. Now, acolyte is acolyte, right? Acolyte is acolyte. So some are the same. Others have been changed for reasons, trademark. Think about it what you will. You know, is it a change for good? Is it a change for bad? Was it a change just to have something that's kind of different so they're not recycling a player's handbook again? I don't know. Share your thoughts. Civilly, but share your thoughts. So let's go through this. We're going to roll as we normally do. After FOV, can I get a percentile roll, please? Oh, let's get some music playing too. 45. Ah, right. We are on the cusp of female here. So we have a female character now. And welcome to Casual Savant. Cheers to you. Hi, Sierra. Oh, all right, Sierra Echo. Sierra Echo, Oh, all right, salutations, I'm after FOV's character. He was serious, okay. Well then, welcome, clown. Yeah, there you go. Sierra, for that, deck of many things pull for the skull, your next adventure is at disadvantage, but if you can beat it, you'll get double the experience points. So no matter what the adventure tells you, you have to roll at disadvantage because you're fighting death alongside whatever this thing is. So choose wisely where you want to encounter death, but possibly get untold rewards, even though I just told you. Hi, Decoder. Good to see you. Twitch baby. Cultist pops out for Sierra Echo. You need a 12 or greater. The cultist got, yep, the cultist of death beat you. Let me get some rips in chat for Sierra Echo. All right, now we have 10 races in the 2024 book. Sierra Echo, will you please roll a D10 for me? Lands on a 1. That is an AASIMAR. AASIMAR, level 12. All right. Next up is our alignment. We'll use the balanced odds. Zulerpai, can I get a percentile roll from you, please? $15. We have a neutral good character. Now we need to determine if we're taking all stat bumps or feats. The Clown 1000, would you please type exclamation point 1D100 in chat? Stops on a 68. So we are taking 1 extra feet. So we have an origin feat, and then we're going to get 1 extra, meaning that we'll get 2 other stat bumps as well. And then we'll make the note ASI times 2 under feats. Okay. Now for a background. Decoder. Decoder, may I please have a 2D8 roll in chat? Exclamation point 2D8. This is going to determine, now we're not rolling backgrounds out of the 2014, we're using 2024, but there's a methodology from the other book that we're using. Odd, so we're taking the first 8 and number 4. So this is background 4. We'll make a note of that up here. I'll show you what the sheet looks like in a moment. Let's just concentrate on this first. All right. Oh, actually, for that? No, we'll get to that in a moment. We'll get to that in a moment. Because I'll have to have the other book pulled up. Now, finally, after, well, let's write this down. After realizing that we are not acolyte, artisan, charlatan, we are a criminal. We are a criminal. Pardon me. And criminal as per criminal. There's a little bit extra in the 14 book that we'll get from there. We have a female AASIMAR criminal. And the way that she manifests herself in the world is by which class and set of abilities. Who is still here? Is Coffee Cat still here? Delport Breckland, are you still here? I don't know if Raven or Grogrin is here. Famine Siren, Bat Espada, Young Yeet. Are any of you all still here that you want to roll? Hi, Tio. All right, Coffee Cat. Roll 1d12, please. And Tio Most Frio, roll 1d4, please. Our class is number 10. And our subclass is number... I just needed a 1. So of the 2 that you rolled, 5 came up first. So Tio, it's either going to be a 1d4 or your choice. Class number 10, I believe, is Sorcerer. Because, yeah, it goes Wizard, Warlock before that, and Sorcerer before that. So, Tio Most Frio. Okay, looks like you're choosing. You got a 5 again. Tio, you can choose which of our, which Sorcerer. You broke reality, Tio. You broke it twice, actually. Do you want us to make an aberrant sorcerer, a clockwork sorcerer, a draconic sorcerer, or a wild magic sorcerer. A clockwork sorcerer. Okay. Now, the 2014 book does give some suggestions in those for things like lifespans, height, and weight. So if we come over here and we do choose an ASIMAR, ASIMAR, AASIMAR, AASIMAR, let's determine, because in the 2024 it just says, they're between, this and this. It is more efficient and streamlined. Nothing really about age except they all live to be about 80 years old unless otherwise stated. And there you go. So let's have Delport Breckland. Would you please roll a percentile in chat? Let's learn the age category of this character. Which is something that we didn't do with the other character because age is not really brought up at all. Besides, you're 80 unless the book says otherwise. You need a 1 in there. There we go. 44 is going to make us an adult. And so that's 18 plus 1d 33 years. So let's go... random.org, a number between 1 and 33. And it generates a 25. Totally trust me, bros. There we go. Let's bring this back up. All right, so we're adding 25 to 18. So that's 35. That's 43. So under things like, maybe, I don't know, if we put it under appearance, we could put adult. We'll put under adult 43. All right. Now, for the height modifier, and again, this is coming out of the 2014 book and similar of that era. Let's have Iron Chef Lord. Iron Chef, would you please roll 2d10? And then after Fav, can you roll 2d4, please? All right, so we're adding 13 inches to the base height of 4'8". So that is making us 4 foot 21 inches. And then we're taking that 13 and we're multiplying it by 5 because that was the total of 4 and 1 that after Fav rolled. So that's, let's see, we have 13 times 5. That's 65 pounds, and we're adding 65 to 110, so we're 175 pounds. Okay. Let's bring this up so you can see what I've been doing in the background here. You see that we're neutral good. We're an adult, 5'9", 175 pounds. And here are the other things that we've noted. Now, I don't have our ability scores. Do not care about those right now. Those are the most irrelevant thing to this character at this stage. Absolutely useless to us. We know that we're a clockwork sorcerer, criminal background, and that we are a female AASIMAR. Level 12, experience points, not applicable for what we're doing. We know that our proficiency bonus at this level is going to be 4, so I'll fill that in. Now, something that could change a little bit of this when we do get to AASIMAR is the height, and I'll show you the difference in a moment here. Since we have these things locked in, I'm going to scoot this over and then turn off the website. Because we're going to worry about the background first. There's number 4, criminal. Dex, con, and int. I'm just going to mark those. Whoops, that's strength. Dex, con, int. As those are going to be the stat bumps on character creation. We do get the alert feat. Feats are replacing background features. So we can go over what the background feature is in the 2014 when we flip over to that real quick, and we'll see what it's replaced with in 2024. And you're welcome to give an opinion if you think it's a good thing, a bad thing, indifferent, or if you would tell your players, have both. It's flavorful. All right, skill proficiencies, sleight of hand and stealth. So we're going to fill these in. Equipment, we'll choose A. 2 daggers, thieves' tools. Dagger times 2. Crowbar, 2 belt pouches, traveler's clothes, and 16 gapa. So there's our gapa. We also do get tool proficiency with thieves' tools. All right. Now, for what you get as a criminal in 2024, you do get a nice picture and you get a little blurb. Maybe this helps you think about something. You eked out a living in dark alleyways, cutting purses or burgling shops. Perhaps you were part of a small gang of like-minded wrongdoers who looked out for each other. Or maybe you were a lone wolf fending for yourself against the local thieves guild and more fearsome lawbreakers. Now let's hop over. Let's hop over to our Pahubba of 2014. 2014. And let's check out what the criminal here offers. Different skill proficiencies. It would offer one type of gaming set, which we don't get, but thieves' tools. Crowbar, dark common clothies, including a hood and a belt pouch. Now, this is recommending some sort of criminal specialty. This is cool. So let's find out what this is. Tio Most Frio, will you tell us, with the 2014 book, which kind of criminal should we consider being? I need a D8 roll, please. 1 D8, please. Lands on a 4? Ah, we're a fence. All right. So now prompt-wise anyway, we have something else to consider. This has put something else in front of us. So, criminal, fence. Yes. Now, could we have come up with a fence on our own? Yeah, of course. I'd like to think that we're reasonably criminally minded. Maybe as a person who enjoys novels or comics or something, we could have thought of that. But do you see the power of having a little chart like this in front of you? And now let's see. We got the alert feat for being a criminal. We don't get that for being a criminal in 2014. So instead we would get criminal contact. You have a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Specifically, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you. That seems really powerful. That seems to anchor you into the setting. That alone generates at least one compelling NPC for a story, if not an antagonist or something else. Now, if we look at the feats, that is replaced by alert. When you roll initiative, you can add your proficiency bonus to the roll, and immediately after you roll initiative, you can swap your initiative with the initiative of one willing ally in the same combat. You can't make this swap if you or the ally has the incapacitated condition. This is soft power creep. Does this break the game? No, because there's even an alert feat in this version here. It's a little different. This doesn't break the game. But look at what was lost. You lose criminal contact right here, and you gain this. You are individually more powerful with more options. Is that good? Maybe. This doesn't provide all of this world building and anchor into the setting and compelling interactions with NPCs or villains or other things. Now, if you just like rolling dice and all you want is crunch and numbers, this is the superior way to go, because you will never use criminal contact. It's just how it is. You'll just never use it, and so you will feel like it is a wasted feature. And That what feels on brand? That, like, personal world building is sacrificed for mechanical crunch? Yes. If you mean something else, please clarify. But I would presume that through some sort of feedback at conventions or D&D and beyond or something, there are more people who are probably playing to roll dice and to kill stuff than there are to have these unique world-building moments with their character. And so, in the revision of 2014 to 2024, you don't have something like Criminal Contact. You get a feat that benefits you. And, I mean, a party member too, presumably. Is this bad? Is this bad? Neither are bad, but you can clearly see a design philosophy difference between 14 and 24. And that's up to you to decide. Do you prefer one way or the other? Do you want everything to be about your character mechanically? Do you want things to think about, such as being a fence, having a criminal contact? Would you allow for the mechanics of 2024 and say, this is a soft and fluffy feature. This isn't going to break my game, so you can have your criminal contact also. As a DM, there you go. It's your prerogative to house rule that way. Now, let's come up with some personality traits. Coffee Cat presents. Please roll 2d8. And Decoder, I want you to roll 3d6 in chat. Eight and 3. And then Decoder goes 616. Okay. Now, to compare the two, well, we can't even make a personality in the 2024 rules until we put our ability scores down. And I don't like that. Using their system, you base the character's personality and such off of their scores. So they're encouraging you to put your scores down first. Even as a random prompt, I don't really like that method. And I'll show you, we won't use it, but I'll show you what we mean. So in this, instead of having a list of personality traits per background, this is just, okay, well, if you're an intelligent person, one of your personality traits, if you want to randomly roll it in something like what we're doing, you roll a d4. So maybe we're informative and, I don't know, we choose low health. We're informative and squeamish. There's your personality. And if you want something like an ideal bond and flaw, since we had neutral good, then off of this chart, there's more personality traits by alignment. Then we would be disinterested and helpful? Disinterested and helpful? Maybe, if we were to roll it. So there is a kind of a chart if you want some prompts for a personality, but you need to determine your ability scores first to use those charts. I like basing ability scores off of who our character is at first. So, presenting this method, it is a method. It can work. Maybe that's all that you need. Maybe that's all you need. Instead, let's take a look at the 2014. We have 8 and 3 for personality traits. I blow up at the slightest insult. And then 3, the first thing I do in a new place is note the locations of everything valuable, or where such things are hidden. This already, without anything else, this already tells me so much more about the character than being disinterested and helpful. The first thing I do in a new place is note the locations of everything valuable, or where such things could be hidden. All right, what's our ideal? What is something that we are aspiring towards? What is something we are aspiring towards? The number that was rolled for this is 6. A redemption. There's a spark of good in everyone. Our bond is number 1. I'm trying to pay off an old debt I owe to a generous benefactor. And our flaw was also number 6. An innocent person is in prison for a crime that I committed. I'm okay with that. By going off of these random charts, we have learned, or at least we have these seeds of wonder already planted in a way that we can take this in many different directions. We're not just a criminal, we're a fence. Okay. So where does that take us? That takes us into our personality. What do we imagine? Now, our ideal did land on good, and we are neutral good. It's okay if your alignment and your ideal clash. How could you be evil but have an ideal of redemption? Just because you're not doing it now doesn't mean you don't want it, or you're not thinking about how to try and change your life or the lives of others. Maybe you do these selfish acts for your own reason, but you realize that they're self-destructive. You can still be selfish and realize that being selfish is self-destructive. And so you can have a good ideal and be an evil character. There is so much more that we have learned about this character with this background style. Tony says that only means they're innocent for the crime I committed, not that they're completely innocent altogether. They might be murderers. You see? Look at where a conversation like this is going. Look at what what is coming up from this. Now, there was good conversation for our last characters where we didn't have this info. You know, what is what were we growing? What led us to go from being a farmer into the life of a rogue? These are important questions, and we can still ask this here, but at least we had these prompts in the player's handbook to think about and either accept, reject, or modify. And especially for a new player, I feel like that's such a missed opportunity, and instead you just have your personality be a D4 roll off of your alignment. And so we go back to treating alignment kind of like a mechanic, or your personality is based on your highest stat and your lowest stat. That's why I equated this to kind of like, oh, well, you know, any lady with big boobs is clearly attractive or smart or has a good personality or whatever. How do you, like, what? Just because a particular stat of that person is big doesn't mean that that has an impact on that person's personality. Now, it might, but you don't define how compassionate someone is by the size of their breasts. So these are prompts, these are starting points in their own ways. But I feel like this is like a cheap imitation of spending that extra moment of time to give the 2014. Because here, I mean, look at this. All of these go to support the concept of a criminal. They work really well together to support a concept of a criminal. All of the entertainers' personality traits support the idea of an entertainer. Hello, Kragar. Also, hi, Gisp. And so in the 2024, well, if you're strong, no matter what you are, then, okay, so you're muscular, or you're sinewy, or you're protective, or you're direct. I guess. But also no? Like, do you see when comparing the two, this isn't bad. This is a starting point. And if you're an advanced role player, you're not even going to read these pages anyway. You don't need these as prompts. You probably don't even need the stuff over here in the 2014 because you already have an idea for your personality, ideal, bond, and flaw. But at least in this version, it's reinforcing to the role players, have these things available. Here are prompts to consider. Build off of that. So I feel like it's a loss. It's a loss of something that makes a character more unique here. And then it gets back into with the backgrounds. I understand why being a criminal favors 3 stats. Criminals do tend to favor 3 ability scores than non-criminals, I guess, in some sense. But not all criminals are alike, as we saw. Fence is going to need a whole other set of skills than, I don't know, a robber or something else, like a bouncer or like a door guard or something. You know, a random, like, you know, mob, you know, like a mob boss's goon. And like, moidalize them, boys. Okay, boss. That type of a criminal is going to be different. And so it feels a little weird then to have the 2 and the 1 based on the background. Because then that gets back to the whole reason why they moved the 2 and the 1 away from the race of the character that you're seeing here and just kept it generically floating. Which, that ruffled feathers, whether it's justifiable or not, I don't care. That you have an opinion on it, we can discuss it civilly at some other point in time. But with the 2 and the 1 for elves, that was saying that elves tend to be more dexterous, and then depending on, you know, which type of elf you are, you might be more naturally inclined or societally inclined or something to get a bonus stat elsewhere. I can get moving away from that. I can also get why you move it onto the background, as people might generally fall into a career if they have a particular set of skills or talents. So it's just an interesting thing to bring up if you like one thing or the other, because even in this book, it says if you're using the 2014, it just tells you put 2 in one and 1 in the other, or put 1 in 3. It's really your call. So it's it's interesting, the decisions and I guess the compatibility issues, things to watch out for, small things that might itself not be any sort of a deal breaker. A lot of this is the same thing but different. But if you're combining 14 and 24, you gotta really watch that, because it can get confusing. Or, depending on the personalities of the players, a 2014 criminal might feel shortchanged if there's a criminal 2024 in the party, because the 2024 gets a mechanical feat, whereas the 2014 criminal just gets a stupid fluff world building, NPC creation, possible villain motivation feature. How dumb is that, right? Come on. Am I right, chat? Stupid. No one would ever use it, because it doesn't give you immediate power. I'm allowed to be sarcastic and smile about this stuff. If you compare the size of gummy worms versus the size of gummy bears, it'll paint a horrific picture in the gummy universe. Gummy bears are really just big tardigrades. The big gummy bears are normal sized. Particular sets of skills are typically for getting daughters back from kidnappers. Yeah, Laura's dumb. Power only. There you go. I made up a criminal with a smuggling specialty, but I made him work for the Crown as a CIA-like spy. So you can see the prompts that we have are really helping to guide our character creation. We have all of this information, which can now go into, well, what are the skills that we should be selecting? Ultimately, what are our stats going to be such that we're going to be an awesome fencer? Not necessarily like on guard fencing, but selling things. So anyway, we need to get our. Do we have our background stuff? Yeah. Now let's find out. We're gonna save the class stuff for last. Class is boring and uninteresting. 2014, 2024, I don't care. Class is stupid and boring. Set it aside. All right. Class is stupid and boring. We're not going to get to that. Not yet. That's like almost the last thing we do. This stuff is way more powerful. This stuff is way more influential on your character. We know who our character is. Now, what is our character? Now, for the 2024, for the AASIMAR. AASIMAR. Not AASIMAR. AASIMAR. There's a paragraph or two blurb. All the races get it. We are humanoid, medium, or small. This is interesting. I think there's 2 races in the book that give you the variable feature to be medium or small. Why is that? Bees. I don't know. So I guess in this case, Gisp, will you please roll a 1d12 in chat? We don't get to use 12s that often. Please type !1d12. On a 1 through 6, we're small. On a 7 through 12, we're medium. Lands on a 7. All right, so we are going to be a medium-sized AASIMAR. 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 I am actually grateful that they have some pronunciations in this book. We can also laugh and have fun. Speed is 30 feet. As a you have these special traits. Celestial resistance. You have resistance to necrotic and radiant damage. So let's go here to our racial traits. And we have celestial resistance. We do have dark vision. 60 feet. Healing hands. As a magic action, you touch a creature and roll a number of d4s equal to your proficiency bonus. The creature regains a number of hit points equal to the total rolled. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So we have healing hands, 4d4 once per long rest. We are a light bearer, so we know the light cantrip cast off of Charisma. So level, this is a cantrip, level 0. And we know light from light bearer casting off of Charisma. There we go. The details can be filled in. I'm not worried about that stuff right now. Celestial Revelation. When you reach character level 3, you can transform. As a bonus action using one of the options below. Choose each time you transform. The transformation lasts for 1 minute until you end it. No action required. Once you transform, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. We get... Celestial Revelation. And then whichever form we choose, we would make a note of it on our character sheet. As I don't know which form we currently have selected, I'm not going to worry about it. But it's there, and you can read about what this is in your own copy. Please support your friendly local game store. Go and pick up a copy of this book. Look through it yourself. Read through it with a desire for fun, a critical eye, comparing and contrasting the good, bad, indifferent, or ugly. And make, build these characters yourself. Practice. There's solid options that are in here. This is not a bad book. It's definitely a different take. Tony says, kind of makes sense for the AASIMAR, though. They're a half-breed, half-angel, and another humanoid race, so half-angel, half-halfling. Yep, that could be. Well, and also, flying decoder. Hi, Bruised Beef. Flying or extra light or extra dark. All right, so that's what we get for being an AASIMAR. AASIMAR. It is Talk Like a Pirate Day. AASIMAR. Oh, we didn't make a pirate character. Shame on me. But it is Talk Like a Pirate Day, at least for 40 more minutes here in the Eastern Time Zone. So everyone enjoy Talk Like a Pirate Day for as long as you can. All right? We are playing Ship of the Line in the background. However, on this revelation, I think I'm going to play Pirates. That one's Sand Raiders. Warby, me pirates. High Seas Pursuit, which could be a good one also. Voyage Begins. Warby, me pirates. Storm at Sea. Here we go. Since I can't talk like a pirate, I'll download a movie, says Afterfall. Don't tell me these things. I don't want to have to testify against you in court, all right? He's a criminal, could be a pirate. Also, you gotta love a neutral good criminal. All right, so now that we know this stuff, let's take a look at our class. Now let's worry about our class. We didn't need to before. Sorcerer is here waiting for us. It wasn't going anywhere. Wasn't going anywhere. Alright, so we are casting off of Charisma. Constitution and Charisma are going to be our saving throw modifiers here. Choose two. Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, or Religion. Now we can go, we are a fence. It is our job to move stolen goods or illegal goods into legal channels by hosting auctions or by transporting it, into a legal place or rearranging paperwork or things along those lines. So, what makes sense for this character? Do you see why I love this method far and above? Choose two. Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, or Religion. Deception is probably one way to go. And, I don't know, do we want to fence religious artifacts? Do we want to fence magical artifacts? Maybe Arcana is a way to go. Or if we're fencing, is this really, we don't care about the items so much as being able to move them, and do we take Deception and Persuasion? Since we're trying to sell things to people that shouldn't be, right? My last thief-like character, and now we're good, right? So that means we do tend to be selfless. So if we're fencing something, maybe we're fencing ill-gotten gains, but we're also making money in the meantime or finding a legal way to get these things back into the market. That's another way that we can look at it. How are we a fence? How are we a neutral good person? We don't necessarily follow a moral code, You know, we have a consistency, and we tend to be more selfless than selfish. So, what are our skills? What do we fence, and how do we fence it? Kind of a Robin Hood fence. All right. Let's take a look at our personality, right? I blow up at the slightest insult. The first thing I do in a new place is note the locations of everything valuable, or where such things could be hidden. Ideal, redemption. There is a spark of good in everyone. I'm trying to pay off an old debt I owe to a generous benefactor. An innocent person is in prison for a crime I committed. I'm okay with that. What if we were given a sense of order in our lives? We were taken in by a faith. Knowledge religion might come in handy, because maybe we specialize in religious artifacts that have been plundered and stolen. And so it's our job to get them back, to fence them. Could be passports or other legal documents to help the poor. Fencing official seals and documents. Like some cartoonish rolled up piece of vellum with a ribbon, and you know, as the family wakes up in the morning, like all the Who's and Whoville see that it says deed across the top, and since they have that piece of vellum, their house can't get sold now because they have the deed. Well, it does seem like, deception? And, I don't know, do you think we should go Arcana? Religion? I don't know if we're the type to read people, because we blow up at jokes. So I think we're kind of sensitive, and we don't read the room that way, because we get easily offended. And I wouldn't think that someone with a high insight gets easily offended. But we do believe that there's a spark of good in everyone. Alright, I see an Arcana and a religion. What's it going to be, chat? Come on. You are a part of this creation process. What is inspiring you? If you want to make something good for intimidation as a fence, that might come in handy too. And in fact, if we blow up at the slightest insult, maybe intimidation is actually the way forward. All right, so it looks like I have 2 for religion, so we're going with religion. This absolutely will help this character develop. All right, so keeping things moving, we are proficient with simple weapons, no armor training, and we will choose the A option, which gives us a spear. We get 2 more daggers, so we have 4 now. How generous. An arcane focus, a crystal or something else. So I guess we'll put this down here in inventory. Arcane focus. Crystal, although you can work with your DM if you don't want it to be that. A Dungeoneer's pack, which has a lot of good stuff in it. And then we also get 28 GP that will add to our 16. So that is 44. Now, as we're level 12, the 2024 book says that we should start with an extra 5,000. And then we are also getting magic items It says to start with common times 2, uncommon times 3, and rare times 1. I don't know what those will be. I'm not worried about those right now. All right, we get spellcasting. I don't need to write that on my sheet. We're fine with that. At level 12, we are going to have 6 cantrips. One, two, three, four, five, 6. I'm not going to worry about what those are. And our spell slots are 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. So 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1. We are going to get 16 prepared spells. You can modify it between, on level ups. And if you look here, that's 7, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you can keep it this way, or if we just write out what it is, then we have 4 at level 1, 2 at level 2. Go 6 to 7. Then we jump up. So I guess if we just ride this out, we go 1. This is presuming we don't, between levels, shift a level 1 to a level 3 that we want later or something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can take, now that we have level 2 spells, now we can go 2 and 2. And then we can go 2. And then we can go 2 level 3s. And then we get a 3rd level 3. And then we get 4, 4. 5, 5. 5. 6, and then we don't change our spells. Now that's if you want to put spell level. If you want to put, I don't know, the level at which you, if you want to put the level at which you took that spell, then you could do that here too. Whatever, just be consistent about it. But this should give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we could fill in the rest from here. The way that you can shuffle your spells every level, it's not too complicated. But read about it in the player's handbook. Myself or others might be able to answer that question in chat. But also pick up a player's handbook. Go to your friendly local game store. Please give them business. It's a weird thing that Wizards of the Coast always seems to forget to mention to people in tweets that they can buy players' handbooks at friendly local game stores. I for some reason, it's like all they could think about is D&D Beyond and not local stores. It's a rogue intern. Clearly, they forget to do it. But please, I'm begging you, It doesn't even have to be me. I would love to sell you these books. I do carry them. I sell them to locals. I've sold them also through the channel. But please give business to your brick and mortar, ma and pa friendly local game store if they've earned it. That wacky old Wizards of the Coast always seems to forget to mention that you can go to your local game store to buy one. They must run out of characters on their tweets or something. So, just please don't forget us, because if we disappear, it might not seem like a big and dramatic thing, but it will have very bad repercussions for the longevity and the joyfulness of the hobby. Jedi, I agree. I'm the horse buggy in the age of sort of like they this monopolistic expression of their intellectual property. I am a defunct vestigial organ. I'm inconvenient. I don't print infinite money by giving people by renting people the books that they buy, because they don't. They just lease them. And they could be changed or taken away, as we've seen many times by many electronic publishers. They don't get all the control, and it actually costs money to print these books instead of copying a PDF that they use for D&D Beyond. I know it's not a PDF, but you get what I'm saying. I am inconvenient. I cost them money. I am not optimal, and I don't make them literally all of the money. So, a store like mine is problematic, and it's why we're not brought up, because it would be very convenient if a store like mine stopped selling their stuff so that people had to go only to the publisher and manufacturer directly. I wish that this didn't sound like I was on some cultural warfare screed, and I'm not. I'm really not. I don't know what I did to be an enemy of the publisher of the very games that were built and grown in these stores. I mean, I know what financially is happening, but I wish it wasn't the case. So I can only make an emphatic plea to you all. Please! Please support your friendly local game store. Not Amazon, if you can help it. Not Amazon. Not a liquidator on eBay who has no employees, doesn't employ your friends or family from your community, doesn't contribute back to the community by sponsoring, I don't know, like a local high school band or something, or whatever. Go to a place filled with people who can respect you, adore you, want to teach you, and want to play with you. Not out of online liquidators. Not out of the publisher who gives zero cares about stores like mine, okay? So, this is not an anti-WotC declaration. This is a pro FLGS plea to you all. I'm tired of the negativity. It's there. Why am I even bringing it up? Are any of you shocked? Are any of you clutching pearls that I'm saying the things that I'm saying? And if you aren't, isn't that a bad sign? And aren't we tired of the bad signs and the constant negativity and the what fresh new hell is awaiting me next? It's terrible. It's stressful. So let's focus on the good things. The good things to go and support, the good things to go and build, the good connections to make. Because you can do that. That's within your control, okay? No, you're fine, Jedi Prime Alex. So as I get on my soapbox and I make these impassioned statements, I don't want this to come across as me being anti-WotC or anti-Hasbro or anti-D&D. Just because I'm pro-friendly local game store does not make me anti-whatever. And I really hope you all carry that in your hearts. This extends to a lot of other things. Especially here in the U.S., we're nearing the apex of a particular season, okay? And a lot of people are making very irrational choices, or giving zero tolerance, if you're not for me, you're against me, sort of concepts. And that's alienating a lot of people who might otherwise support whatever candidate or policy or law or bill or whatever. It could even be super local, town council, municipal judge. Who's going to be the judge of your county's family courts or whatever, right? Just because someone doesn't support something doesn't mean that they are an enemy or bad. Or the vice versa. Just because they're supporting something doesn't mean that I'm against. If I tell you I like D&D, I want to run D&D and I want to play D&D, and if you don't like Dungeons and Dragons, I'm not against you. I am not against you, and we can still be friends, and we'll play something else and have a blast. But focus on what matters, like building our character, which I've strayed from. All right, we get innate sorcery. You can use it twice per long rest. So we get class, subclass, innate sorcery, twice per long rest. We also get Font of Magic, which are giving us our sorcery points. Font of Magic, and at level 12, we get 12 sorcery points. I'm not going to go over the minutia of the rules about creating spell slots or turning them into points. It's there. You can read about it. We are going to get meta magic. That lets us manipulate spells. So we get 2 more at 10. We're going to get 4 meta magic options in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our placeholder for it. Our subclass we'll get to. Our ASIs are 4, 8, wait a minute. Did I miss something with Rogue? Wait, rogues do get... Alright, yeah, rogues... No. 4, 8, 10... No, rogues did get the bonus one. So I didn't misread it. I did not misread it. What was I looking at? So we actually get 1 more ASI on our rogue. Maybe we'll put that into his con, so he's a little extra corn-fed. But let's come over to Sorcerer. 4, 8, 12, 16. So 2 of those are going to be ASI bumps, and another one's going to be a feat. So we'll determine what the feat is. Sorceress Restoration. When you finish a short rest. Okay, so we're going to write this down. We are also going to get Sorcery Incarnate. And then we don't get anything else for being a sorcerer until our epic boon at 19. Meta magic feats. Now, as a fencer, there are particular... Hey, Raven's still gaming. We are going to get... let's see. We're going to choose spells that are going to help us accomplish this. Now, we don't need an exhaustive list of... all the spells. They are here. I am very grateful that this book is organized in this fashion, where we can take a quick look at some things. Like, there's telekinesis. That might be very important for a criminal fencer. Arcane Gate. Big B's Hand. So probably things that we can do subtly. There is a subtle spell. I don't know if we're really worried about damage things. I think we're more of a manipulator. So I think subtle spell would work. Maybe quicken spell. Probably heighten spell, because if we need to Jedi mind trick someone, having them fail to get away out of a bad fence is would be good. And maybe extended spell to make our illusions and other things last a little bit longer. Those seem to make sense for who we are. Extended spell. Heightened spell. Quicken spell. And subtle spell. Yeah, thank you for dropping in, Raven. I hope that everything's going well for you. Let the stolen goods go up by themselves. Now you're thinking, Jisp. Or, no, wait. Gasp. Gisp. Gisp. Gasp to gisp. Hard G. Just like GIF instead of GIF. GIF instead of GIF. Alright, we weren't going aberrant sorcery. Instead, we were focusing on clockwork sorcery. When you reach a sorcerer level specified in the clockwork spells table, you thereafter always have the listed spells prepared. So we will have these prepared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can we even add 10 more? Do we have it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can't even add it to the base character sheet. Okay. Well? That's a dilly of a pickle. So I guess we'll just put manifestations of order, and these spells are on page 146. And there we go. You sweep the dirt under the rug and you don't have to actually clean. Nice. Or actually, that's clockwork spells. The manifestations of order are a different thing. Clockwork spells, page 146. Now, the manifestation of order, in addition, consult the manifestation of order table and choose or randomly determine a way your connection to order manifests while you are casting any of your sorcerer spells. Let's have Jisp. Please give me a 1d6 roll. And And I guess this is kind of a fluffy thing, so we'll put this down in appearance. When casting spells, lands on a 7. All right, it's your choice. You broke reality. Do you want spectral cogwheels to hover behind us? The hand of a clock spins in our eyes. Our skin glows with a brassy sheen. Floating equations and geometric objects overlay your body. This is a meme. And that's fine. Memes can be fun too. Your spellcasting focus temporarily takes the form of a tiny clockwork mechanism, or the ticking of gears or ringing of a clock can be heard by you and those affected by your magic. The rug is hungry. What sounds good to you, Gisp? Skin glowing? Your skin glows with a brassy sheen. When casting spells, my skin glows with a brassy sheen. There we go. Restore balance. Your connection to the plane of absolute order allows you to stabilize chaotic moments. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself is about to roll a d20. All right. I'm not going to get into those mechanics. That is still a VOD on Twitch that you can watch. But we get restore balance. We are also a bastion of law. I am the law, says the criminal. Bastion of law, once per long rest. And we're not high enough level yet to get trance of order. Well, as a fence, we don't necessarily need to be too stealthy. Fences aren't necessarily the thieves themselves, just a middleman. Can you change that from skin to eyes for flavor? So something more like that. Man, she's got a real pair of brass eyeballs, I tell you what. No fun allowed. No fun allowed. All right. Now, we also get a feat. And I want to choose this even before we worry about our stats. Because the feat should fit who we are and what we've been doing. We're 12 levels. We have been doing this for a while. What would make sense? What would make sense for us? Because we already have our origin feat of alert. So now in general feats, an actor might actually be a good one. While you're disguised as a real or fictional person, you have advantage on AASIMAR checks, deception or performance to convince others you are that person, and mimicry. Well, I don't know. Maybe not as a fence. Maybe not as a fence. Could be, but maybe not. Are we a chef? Crossbow expert, crusher, defensive duelist, dual wielder, durable. Elemental Adept. There is Fey Touched. But, I don't know, nothing really seems to indicate. Grappler, Great Weapon Master, Heavily Armored. Inspiring Leader. Increase your Wisdom or Charisma. When you finish a short or long rest, you can give an inspiring performance, a speech, song, or dance. When you do so, choose up to 6 allies. Within 30 feet of yourself who witness a performance, the chosen creatures each gain temps, equal to your character level plus the modifier. Alright. Keen Mind. Choose one of the following skills. Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, or Religion. If you lack proficiency in the chosen skill, you gain proficiency, and if you already have it, you gain expertise in it. You can take the study action as a bonus. This might not be bad for a fencer who needs to evaluate the ill-gotten goods. Keen Mind might actually be a really strong one for our character, because this could also give us go back to Arcana or probably even History. Unless we want to be an expert in religious artifacts, and that could be too. Are we a Mage Slayer? Observant? Int or Wiz. Choose one of the following. Insight, Investigation, or Perception. Observant could work. You take the search action as a bonus action. Oh, you know what? This might actually work because of our personality trait of the first thing that I do in a new place is note the location of everything valuable or where such things could be hidden. Observant might actually be really strong, will give us a good mechanical benefit that's not redundant, and will support who we are as a character. This might actually be the one to go for, is Observant. Piercer, Poisoner, bleh. Not worried about that stuff. Skill Expert could be another good one. You gain proficiency in one skill of your choice. Or we go Expert in one. Skulker. Speedy. And we have spells for this stuff. We're not worried about that. I don't know. Observant? Do you think we should go Observant or what was our other one? Was it Keen Mind? Do you think we should go Observant or Keen Mind? I am personally leaning... I would go Observant, but I want your all's opinion. Because I think it could be either way. Should we go Observant or Keen Mind for our feat? Now, mind you, we already have proficiency in Deception, Sleight of Hand, Stealth, and Religion. Alright, Zulurpai, if we go Keen Mind, do you want to go Expert in Religion or get training in another one of these studies? Which one? History, investigation, nature, or arcana? And then int's gonna float 1. Quick study. There we go. And then we're gonna take 2 ability score bumps. Now, after all of this, now let's actually worry about what her stats are. Now let's worry about that. Because she has existed up to level 12. Doesn't matter if Charisma's a dump stat or it's the highest. Uh-oh. Here's a raid. And welcome in our raider from Gaming Zeta Naziro. We're having fun. We're building a sorceress right now, Naziro. And how are things going for you? Oh, you're playing some Dragon Quest. Very good. We have our standard array. We're not gonna. I don't want to. It might end up like it. I don't know, but I don't want to take the suggestion of the player's handbook. Let's create our own character. We don't need a quick build where every barbarian's going to be like every other barbarian. Let's make a unique character. Now, given who we are and what we do, beyond the fact that we're a sorcerer, just because we're a sorcerer doesn't mean that we should have a high charisma. Well, that's the prime stat, and that's the flashy, you know, that's the dopamine button when you're casting spells and you need the highest numbers. I get that. That's why this book will tell you go hard into charisma. Do we have another reason to be charismatic? One that makes sense for the character beyond mechanics and pushing buttons to make us go, it feels good, brain tickles. Because my number big, your number small, me win. Unga bunga. I think she has, especially as a fence, I think she has many reasons. She has many reasons to take 15 in Charisma. Now, from here, we have someone who's a criminal, who fences items. She is an adult, 43-year-old AASIMAR. We believe in redemption. We're trying to pay off an old debt I owe to a generous benefactor. An innocent person's in prison for a crime I committed, and I'm okay with that. We do know how to use thieves' tools. So we're a reformed thief. We're a reformed thief. Dungeoneer's Pack, Arcane Focus, Traveler's Clothes, Belt Pouch, Crowbar, Thieves' Tools. I'm gonna make a bold statement. I think we should have our dump stat be Wisdom. And the reason for that, we have to be observant because we're not observant normally. I think we are about ourselves, not in a selfish way. So we have trouble reading other people, and we need to make sure we go out of our way to look around. I think Wisdom as a dump stat's gonna make sense for her. Especially because I blow up at the slightest insult. She doesn't have a lot of that emotional control. Instead of 12, 11, 10, that should be 12, 10, 8. What am I doing? Now from here, we need to be knowledgeable. We need to be knowledgeable. So what if we go 14? $15, 14, 13, 13, 12, 10. Hi, Zump. $15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. We get to add 1 to our intelligence from the feat, bringing that to a 15. And then from our background, we get to add 2 and 1 or 1 to everything. Meaning we could add 1 to Dex, Int, and Con. Or we could just go 2 and 1. And if we do that, I'm kind of thinking... I'm kind of thinking 1, 1, 1 to spread it out a little bit. So that's going to bring our int to 16, our dex to 14, and our con to 13. And then we get 2 ASIs. So I think the first is going to bring charisma to 16, con to 14, and our second's going to bring charisma to 18. And I think that that will spread out the ability scores, not just to be mathematically optimal, but to support who our character is and what she does. She does more than roll dice in combat. She studies religious artifacts. She fences them, or magical artifacts and the like. She's a reformed thief. We're not just a pile of stats. So with this, we have a +0, a +2, a +2, a +4, a -1, and a +3. Our initiative... actually, on our rogue, I think we ended up getting a bonus to it, but we wrote that, didn't we? Yeah, we have advantage. Did we have something that let us, did we get something, alert added, we get to add our proficiency to our initiative from alert. So it's not just going to be +2, our initiative is actually +6. All right. So our saving throw in athletics. Acrobatics is going to be that. We're just going to go -1 down the line. She's very sensitive to magic, which explains why she's not good at wisdom saving throws versus magical effects. Because her body is magical. So she's just, she's more attuned to it, so magic has a greater effect on her. Boom. Roleplay reason also for having a low wisdom score. She's bodily healthily enough, but because she manifests, she is a font of magic, so she's going to be susceptible to it as well. All right, Coffee, thank you for hanging out. I hope that you enjoyed the ranting, the raving, and the character building. We are going to have a +7 Arcana and a +7 Religion. We are going to have a +8 Saving Throw and a +8 Deception. We're going to have a +6 Saving Throw. We are going to have also a +6 Sleight of Hand and Stealth. And we already have our Strength. We have our spell slots. Spellcasting DC is 8 +4 so it's 16. And our spell attack modifier is +8. If we're attacking with a dagger, if we're attacking off of Dex, Dex is +6. Spear, I think, is Strength, so that would just be a +4. Passive Perception is 9. We are a little oblivious. Our current AC is we don't have any armor, is 12. Don't have a shield. Hit points. Here we go, hit points. We get 6 at level 1. That's our full hit die. In fact, we can put that here. We've spent 0. We have 12d6 hit die to spend. 6 plus 11 times 4. That's half plus 1, the average of our hit die. Plus all 12 levels with bonus hit points of our Constitution modifier. So that gives us a 24. That gives us a 44. This gives us a 50 plus 24. We have 74 hit points. We know our attacks. We know our saves. We know our skills. We know, most importantly, who our character is. We have a lot of very fertile ground for thinking about this stuff. Last thing is languages. Coffee Cat, if you're still here real quick, can you give me a 2d12 roll? All characters get common and 2 other languages. So we'll randomly roll it. Now, if our Goliath, you might just want to give your Goliath Giant. You might want to give your Dwarf Dwarven. That has been separated. In the 2014, if you're a Dwarf, you ended up with Common, Dwarven, and maybe another one. That is removed in this book. Things are a little rearranged. Zulerpie, can you roll 2d12 for me, please? Two and 1. Draconic and some sort of a sign language. Maybe this is some sort of maybe this is some kind of a an arcane language, similar to a thieves' cant or druidic. It could just be sign language. This could end up being, I mean, arguably, because we're a thief, this might even just qualify for thieves' cant as something special if you wanted it to be, because we roll in those circles. I don't know, Zulerpie, do you want to keep that? Do you think that we should replace one of these with thieves' cant Like, should we replace the sign language with thieves can't as sort of a special lifestyle sign language? Thieves can't? Okay. I think that makes a whole lot of sense. And there we go. We have a character. Now, comparing this character to our rogue, which they're similar in some ways, we have a farmer who makes fences and is a rogue assassin, and then we have a criminal fencer who does these thiefy things and can summon fences or walls. So. One side of the coin to the other here. Although, before I forget, we had 2 extra. We're going to dump that in Constitution, because this farmer's boy's been corn-fed. So this is actually going to be a +3, and we're adding 12 extra points, meaning we actually have 123. We have 123 hit points at level 12, and we're a rogue. Now, we can go through and, we can talk about the spell selection. That's fine, but we can talk about the spell selection, not because, I'm going to cast Fireball, that's the meme, but because we know who our character is and can make very good choices about spells that will help this person accomplish everything that she wants to do with her life. That's why I'm like, no, why did you take those prompts out of the backgrounds? On my own, do I need those? I've been playing and running for a long time. Maybe not. But dang it, if you don't get some really fertile ground out of that little bit of extra page space for the prompts. But we've made a character this way, and we've made a character this way. And so we've seen the difference. I hope that maybe you like one over the other, or you enjoy them both and you don't really care how we go about it. I really like sticking with the personality traits because that gives us so much to work with. And it also helps the DM so much with NPCs and locations and villain inspirations and all sorts of other stuff.